Hi, I'm David. Welcome to another episode of Changing Times. Our guest is Robert Vincent. He's a singer-songwriter. Please enjoy and stay safe. Hi, Robert. How's everything going?
Not so bad. How are you?
Very well. We're doing okay. We're all right. So, for everyone that's watching, tell everyone who you are, what you do.
My name's Robert Vincent. I'm a musician. I've been a musician pretty much all my adult life, and when I was in school. So it's all I've ever done, really. All I've ever known.
So, obviously, with everything that's happened with the pandemic and lockdown and everything that's affected you. So, how has that affected you? Where you been? Like, was your diary packed full, and what happened to that now?
Yeah, pretty much. I just released an album on the February the 14th. It was, and yeah, I was gearing up to do a tour at the end of it was at the end of March into April, and then that was going to kind of last into the summer, hopefully in festivals. And I was due to be at a writing retreat this week, and I was due to be kind of going out to the States to do some writing as well. So yeah, it's impacted hugely on what I do. But then you just have to adapt and find other things.
That's it. And have you been able to adapt? Have you been able to do stuff that you didn't have time to do now when you so you could do them in the future?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, there's things that I've kind of been able to do. I mean, I've still been able to do shows because I've still been doing Facebook Lives and things like that from home. So I kind of just set up and it was very early on in the whole thing really when it all shut down. And maybe about a week into everything kind of stopping and finding out my gigs had stopped. I just thought, well, I've never done Facebook Live before, so let's do one of them. And the reaction was great. People really loved it, and so I've been doing maybe one or two of them a week. And then there's friends or people that get in touch that I've known from other venues that want you to do takeovers on their social media. So you take over their social media for an hour or two and play some songs, and there's lots of different things happening. It doesn't. I mean, it's not as great. Obviously, it's not as good as getting out
Yeah.
and playing in a venue. But like, if there's some way you can still kind of satisfy that part of your brain that loves performing to people, then it's okay by me. I can do a Facebook Live and reach out to the people who want to still hear it.
When did it all start dying down for you with all the gigs and stuff? And how were you told and the process of that?
I did a gig as part. It was kind of I did a gig on it was the 7th of February. I did, and then the album came out the next week, and then around that time there was kind of rumblings that the tour could be postponed at least until later in the year, and then I think I found out maybe I think once everything was obviously we were all told it was lockdown. That was then there was absolutely no chance in the world we were going to be able to go out and do any shows. But yeah, I think maybe towards the end of Feb it started to look a bit sketchy for the dates that we had in, and so I started to kind of like almost say to myself at that point, well, this isn't going to happen, is it? This is going to be, this is going to be next part of the best part of the year is going to be finished in terms of gigs.
That's it. And you've adapted though, and that's the main thing. And
Yeah.
you're keeping your music out there.
Yeah, and I'm a writer, so I can write. I mean, it's been again. We were just kind of saying before we jumped on this is that as a writer, you like to have a lot of time to think, and it's kind of impossible with a house full of people when you're all stuck in the same four walls and you're trying to think of things to write about. But I'm sure there's been lots of kind of musical ideas. I've been sitting and playing music a lot, so that's been good. I'm sure that the words and the meaning will come later.
Has there been any positives for you? Obviously, you're used to being in front of a crowd, getting the reaction and stuff, and obviously be doing the Facebook stuff and the live stuff. You're not getting that interaction. So, have there been any positives for you?
I think, do you know what? I mean, I try to take positives from everything. Things happen, and you have to adapt to them. I like to be in front of an audience, but as I say, I've done some Facebook Lives, which is great. But also, I've been a gigging musician for the past 20 years, and bar going away for a week or two here or there for a holiday, I've just been traveling and gigging for however long it is, So I mean, so I'm kind of taking this as it's a forced break, really, and it gives me a chance to kind of reset a little bit for myself, because it's sometimes it catches up on you. You don't realize how hard the traveling is, and how hard just that kind of constant mental fatigue of playing to people and being on the kind of treadmill of doing what it is as you do as a musician. So I think there's lots of positives to be taken from it. I'm kind of hoping that once this is all over, that again, I come out of it stronger and refreshed, and then you can just get back to it, and it'll be like this never happened.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Have you got any concerns when things start to open back up again, and when you'll be able to perform again?
I am slightly concerned by that. I think we're certainly looking at the best part of this year. I think this year's done. I think 2020 for live performance in venues is done. I don't think it's going to happen for anyone or anything. I mean, I think they might start to open some pubs and things like that, but they're only talking about beer gardens and so many people in a pub at a time. But I mean, I haven't got any personal concerns myself, but I understand that lots of people have, and there's lots of vulnerable people that could be susceptible to this if they were to be in a venue with other people that have got it. So I understand their worries, and I mean, I personally think I had it in February. You see, towards the end of February, which I don't know whether that writes me out of the whole equation yet, so we don't really know. But I don't have any personal worries for myself, because if I'm in a venue and I'm playing on a stage, then I tend to be more than 2 feet away from people anyway. I'm the one doing all the spitting on people. so it's in a sense, I haven't really got a great deal to worry about myself, but I do worry about other people, obviously.
Have you had the time to be able to reflect on yourself and what you achieved before the lockdown, and seeing what you did? Because obviously, like you said, you're on the go, you're on a treadmill, you don't really have that time to realise what you're doing. Have you been able to reflect and plan for the future?
Yeah, because one of the things that's come out of this is that my management structure has changed a little bit, because we've kind of looked at different ways that we can reach out, and maybe everyone in this country, for instance, is going to start hitting all of the venues in 2021 and trying to get gigs everywhere. So I'm now looking to kind of go to Europe a little bit more, or to branch out to wherever, to maybe go to the States, go and do some writing, places where unnecessarily haven't been so much and haven't put so much attention into before. I think I'm going to try and reach out to them and find different ways of capitalizing on what I do as a musician, which is finding new audiences, so hopefully that'll be the thing that I'll do more. And then, we'll look at the UK, maybe 2022. So you have to plan that far ahead. It has to be like a 3, 4, 5 year plan of what you're doing. But there's, again, as you say, even about like kind of reflecting it. Yeah, it's a huge reflective period, because you're not doing what it is that you're usually doing. So you have to find positives in it. As I said before, you have to find positives, and you have to find new ways of working. I'm always open to new ways.
Yeah. Do you find the Facebook Live? Some people were doing them already, but do you find that they're going to be the new norm for the time being for artists and stuff now?
Yeah, I think they will. And I also think that when venues open, in a kind of small, in a kind of smaller capacity, I think that say like for instance, this is the thing I've been kind of talking to everyone about, is that if you've got a 150 capacity venue, then they'll probably only let 50 people in. So you'll have to put the ticket prices up. But also, if the venue gets savvy, they will get themselves a few decent cameras that they can film the gig, and they can stream that live, and then people can also tune in from all around the world, and they can pay a ticket price to see that gig, you know. So I think there will be ways that they'll work around this. I wouldn't like it always to be just about Facebook Live. I'd never done Facebook Live before, but for some reason, and because it never felt sat right with me. Whereas obviously when this happened, it just felt like the natural thing to do. And also a lot of other people are learning how to use Facebook through and social media, other platforms like Zoom and Teams and all of these things for performances. So I think it's teaching people different ways that they can get live music, but I don't think it'll ever replace standing in a sweaty room watching a gig.
So tell everyone what style of music do you do, and do you want to give a little taster?
Yeah. It's kind of like, I suppose it's a rootsy kind of music. It's a folksy kind of music. It's classed as Americana, what I would do, I suppose. I mean, I kind of class myself as a few different things. Obviously, being from Liverpool, Liverpool's always had that great tradition of folk and country and American style kind of music. So yeah. I mean, did you want me to play a little bit of something?
If you want to, give it a whirl.
I can give it a little bit of I can give you. Let's see. I'll do a little song called Conundrum. It's a new one that was on my on my new album that came out. There's no method in your madness, clearly. If you're searching for a soul, take mine. Think I recognize the daily struggle with your mind. Lazarus is no conundrum. Definition, it's just you. There's no reason for your certain movements out the blue. There's no turning back. You take love from this world, try to leave some when you go. There's no secret plan. You're on this world alone, try to leave it better off when you go. There's a little taster.
Well, that's brilliant. And so we'll put all your links on for your album and everything on your video and YouTube.
Nice one. Yeah, I'll send you all the links, yeah.
So people can find it. And how can people find you if they want to be able to book you and see what you're up to and social media and everything? Where can we find you?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of got all the usual social media, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. I've also got a website, which is robertvincentmusic.com. And yeah, there's loads of videos on YouTube. There's 3 or 4 new videos from the new songs off the new album up that I've put up over the last few months. And yeah, there's a few albums to listen to. There's all kinds of different content out there that people can find.
No, that's brilliant. And how has the obviously change of lifestyles changed now for you with not being on the road? And how has that changed with obviously being at home and the dynamics changed?
Too much eating and drinking, for one. Which I think everyone's suffering from, aren't they? Everyone's decided that they're now a chef, and that they can make lots of lovely meals, which is fine. You know, I think it's good. I think the country is. I think people have started to realise that they've got time to cook, and actually probably finding out that they probably always had time, but
yeah,
you know, that now this has presented it with them. Hopefully, it opens people's horizons a little bit more to making themselves a nice meal at home. And but you know, definitely trying to not open a bottle of wine so early. I think that's the the hardest thing to do. But no, you're not joking, you know. But it's I think the whole lifestyle. I've been walking a lot more. We've been getting out and walking and just spending time in the nice weather. Really, I think just trying to keep yourself occupied.
So, but like the last thing really, can you take anything from this? Like you've slowed down, you've enjoyed that a little bit. Can you take that away and go, I need to do less maybe in the future? Or what are your final thinking of the whole pandemic and everything?
No, I agree with you there. I think sometimes it's important to look at what you were doing before and whether there's anything you could change. And as I said before, definitely looking at ways to make the efforts that you do, to capitalize more on the efforts that you put into, rather than just kind of be, because I was one of those musicians that would just be like, there's a gig in Durham, fine, you know, I don't mention Durham because of the, you know, but if there was a gig in wherever, I'd just go, yeah, I'll go and do that gig. Whereas I might kind of think, maybe driving all of that way for one gig and all the way back isn't the best thing to do in the world. And you pick your battles, you know. I think that's going to be the best way to do it, because I think for a long time we're all going to have to be a little bit more mindful of these things, of the fact that I think the whole pandemic that'll slow down, but I think the virus is obviously going nowhere for a while, and I think we're all going to have to slow down and be respectful of that, you know. So driving here and there and just doing kind of one-off gigs and things like that, I'll have to definitely look at not doing that so much.
Yeah, but no, I really appreciate it, Robert, for your time and doing this with us. And we'll put all your details on our YouTube and everywhere for you. And
thanks,
look
mate.
Forward to catching up soon.
Yeah, well, when we can all get out and see a gig, you must come to a gig, and I'll make sure you put you on the door and you can come to a gig. That'll be great.
Definitely. Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you, mate.